Okay, I think we're live now. So how's everyone doing? It's good seeing everyone who's actually waiting for the stream, if there's anyone here on this marvelous Saturday evening. Oh, that is too much there. There you go. That's better. So yeah, welcome to another Golang stream, and today we're going to be doing some Lua in Go. Hello, Robin. It's good to see you, man. You're always here on a Saturday, so I guess you're always free, right? I got some caffeine with the Coca-Cola. I'm ready to do some coding. Yeah, so last stream we were doing some assembly. I still got the tabs up here on my computer. I managed to write a little 6502 program that will fill the screen with pixels. And the plan for this is to actually, maybe we'll start a little emulator with Rust or C++ in the next few streams, we'll see. Because it shouldn't be that difficult to simulate or to emulate some of these commands, right? And yeah, that's the reason why I was doing this work today. I just wanted to learn a little bit more and actually get this working, which I did. So let's close all of that. We don't need it anymore. What we do need today, however, is to actually read a little bit about Go's own plugin system. So for those who don't know, Go seems to have a plugin architecture where it can basically just dynamically load libraries at runtime, right? Which is kind of what you do with C and C++ with DL open, or on Windows. If you're on Windows, you can do a load library call, which loads a DLL, and you can basically just lazily load things at runtime. So Go seems to do that, but it only works for only works on Linux and Mac from the looks of it, on FreeBSD, which means the Urchin is not going to be very portable if we do include this in. So yeah, I mean, maybe we'll, the idea was to actually look at some of this today, but I think it's going to be like a little bit of a rabbit hole without an end. Or specifically, there is no end when on Windows, at least. So we won't be able to run this on Windows, which is kind of a problem because we want Urchin to be a platform that can be kind of running anywhere, right? So that includes Linux Windows machines as well. But from what I can tell, this Go plugin architecture is basically just a Go library file that you write, which has a package main in it, and it exports some functions and variables or structures. And to build it, you just got to make sure that you pass build mode equals plugin here, and that builds an SO file, so a file that can be loaded, like a library file basically on Linux, that can be loaded at runtime. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. There isn't much to it. Now, why did I want this, you might be asking? Well, hello Canal. Canal, I've not seen you in ages, dude. How is it going? Yeah, but why did I want a plugin based thing? Well, I was actually working on Urchin yesterday, and I added a shortcode-like image feature, right? So for those who have done WordPress in the past, you probably know that you can do shortcodes for like certain plugins. So like if you install an image plugin or something like a latex plugin, KTeX is a very popular one actually, which I use on my website to write all the maths. There are shortcodes you can write, so you can just do a particular text and then follow it up with the latex code. So the idea was to basically do something like that, but starting with images, right? So basically, what I am doing is, let me just delete all of this because it doesn't make sense now. What I'm doing is like you have this post in Markdown, right? So this is the post title, and then some content here, and then some more content. What I did is the ability to add something like this, so emg and then image name.jpg, right? So I wanted to replace this string with the proper Markdown string, which would be something like, I think it's like title here or something, right? Title. I'm not entirely sure now. Let's see here. Yeah, the other way around. So it would be like title in here, so the alt text. And then the image name itself, right? Followed by, well, prefixed by media, whatever that image is. Right, so the idea of the shortcode is just to do something like this, a simple transformation on the plugins. Oh good, I was not able to catch you live. It's late night here. I can imagine, dude. You're in India, right? So that's like crazy late, dude. Like, yeah, don't feel too forced to catch me on stream. I mean, as long as you drop your comments, sorry, a little like whenever you see a stream, I'm happy with that, man. But yeah, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, I just removed that really annoying sort of like heart emoji. I mean, I can still see it when you guys click on it, but I can't read messages if it's there for me. So yeah, I mean, the idea is to like transform whenever we have these in posts to something like this. This is obviously just an example for the images. We didn't really need this for images at all because yeah, you can just kind of write this in your post request, right, that you're sending to the admin page. So, you know, that's fine. But this opens a lot of doors for us to do something similar, right? So if you want to do something like a table in Markdown, and you pass in the number of columns and the number of kind of headers and columns and rows, right? So something like this. So we can basically replace this with whatever the Markdown is for a table, right? So this can be something that the user specifies, a plugin. They will say, whenever you encounter this particular shortcode here, so table in there, you know, use this function to handle it and then transform it to the Markdown and put that in the post. That's all. That's the idea for this particular feature. And yeah, I took inspiration with other CMSs that kind of do the same. Obviously, WordPress is one, a very popular one that has something like this, and they're called shortcodes. But I wanted to see how we can do this in Golang. And hence why I was talking about all the plugins, because the plugins is a way for, you know, users to compile their own functions, their own code, and at runtime they can provide some configuration that says, you know, this particular if I open it here, so this particular shortcode should be handled by this plugin, then, you know, that would be exactly what we want. Let me open Urchin here. And it's perhaps a little bit better if I actually show you the documentation. So, sorry, the configuration. So the idea is to basically add Urchin config.toml. Yeah, so this is the config file that we have, the toml config file. So we can have like shortcodes here. And you could have something like, I don't know, name equals, I don't know, table, right? And the function to handle it, or the plugin to handle it, it would just be like the name of the SO file. So something like, you know, table shortcode dot SO, right? And that's what you basically compile with the Go build dash plugin thing, or what is it? Build with something like that, right? I believe it is. Oh, we can't have Pokemon music. We get a copyright strike. Oh no, Legend of Zelda. Sorry, sounded like Pokemon though. Yeah, build mode equals plugin. So this would be like an implementation of it, I guess. This is how we could achieve something like that. But I also did a lot of reading on plugins in Golang. Let me zoom in for you guys. I did a lot of reading on plugins in Golang, and there are so many issues with them. There's like initialization issues with like static types. It only gets initialized once, and you can kind of like undo the state that you share with your plugin. So it's a little bit madness. So instead, like any good programmer, I decided to just kind of incorporate Lua into the project, right? Because with Lua, you can kind of do the same thing here. So instead of having this configuration where it points to the SO file compiled with Golang, we can just point it to the Lua file, right? So whatever .lua. And this function obviously has to contain a few predefined functions in there that we expect, basically. So we can, you know, sort it out. So basically we can, perhaps we can have something like handle shortcode, and then we'll have like, we'll take in a name and I don't know, the arguments to it, right? And then it returns a string, right? I don't know if this is how you write Lua. I'm just saying, you know, this is just a pseudocode of what that Lua file has to contain. And you know, because we have a Lua interpreter inside Go, we don't actually have to worry about the about running it on Windows versus Linux, because, you know, Go only builds SO files and not DLL files from the looks of it. So yeah, I mean, this could be a very good solution to this. So we're incorporating Lua to let users provide plugins, which is, you know, how Lua is used anyway. So if you look at C++ projects where they have a Lua interpreter, this is exactly why. So, you know, people can write plugins for your code that can be running at runtime. You don't need to have that code at compile time. That's all. So yeah, I mean, after all of that, I hope this is clear. I hope you guys understood it. Let's get on. Let's get on with it, right? So temple needs to be recompiled on main. Edson Santos, yeah, temple does have to be recompiled on main, but this is not about temple. This is about including Lua, having a Lua VM that's gonna be running code at runtime that the user passes in. This is nothing to do with temple just yet, right? So yeah. And I've used Lua with Desmum. Artisan, yeah, so yeah, that's a good point there. Artisan. And I think this is someone I know. You maybe changed the name. I've seen that name before on Discord. I think the Brazilian guy, right, Antonio? You know, Desmum is a good example of how Lua is used. So Lua is embedded into Desmum, so you can kind of go and like debug things, and you can provide plugins to Desmum. You can read memory with it. There's a bunch of things where that are possible to do with Desmum, because, you know, you can write code that gets kind of run on Desmum. Changed avatar. That makes sense, yeah, dude. So yeah, you know, after all this, welcome guys, and let's take on for the ride, shall we? So the first thing I actually kind of searched for earlier is you know, I was looking for a good Lua library for Golang. This one seems to be okay. It seems to provide most of the stuff that we need. So it provides an interpreter for it. Now, if you look down here, you can see how we load some Lua files. Where is it? So here, you can just basically load a string at runtime, and then it will kind of execute this code, right? That's what we're gonna do. So if you can imagine, you know, the user just providing the file with the Lua file, and then we're gonna do the string print hello or whatever. So you know, instead of print hello, we're just gonna put the code for the user provided plugin, right? And we're going to create a state with that. So for every plugin, it's going to have a state, and then that state is going to have like a handle, what do you call it here? Handle shortcode function, right? That's what we want. So yeah, I think a very good thing that we can do right now is maybe we can move outside of Urchin a little bit, because we can perhaps integrate this whole thing into Urchin later. Let's try and create a new project here. I don't want to trash Urchin too much with random stuff that may not get merged in, because, you know, this is just experimentation. We're not sure if we're going to merge it in yet. So let's create a new file called Golang Lua. We're going to make the -p here. I'm hoping that you guys can see the screen very well, right? So I'm just creating the new directory for maybe, you know, app. That will do. And then we can torch cmd app main.go, right? Go mod init, I believe it is. Oh yeah, so I need to provide an example here. I'm just gonna do whatever this is. So what is this? Go Lua. Okay, and then we can do go mod tidy, just to make sure. Yeah. Yeah, so now we have this little Golang project, which we can start doing a go get here. So we can do go get, and then download or include that Golang interpreter that we've seen here. So go get this. Oh, we already have that. Which then means that we can kind of go into cmd main.go. We can define a package main here. And we can do func main fmt dot. I'm just gonna make sure that things are compiling fine. Hello there. And then what if we do Lua? Go Lua. What is it called again? So I want to make sure that we do have the actual file here. Lua.newState. Or maybe not. There you go. And I can kind of call it, right? So we can just create a new state for it here. State, I guess, is the VM, right? Yeah. So runs the script in a VM. And VM is kind of like, it's just this unit, like this sort of container that will run a particular like Lua context. That's what it is. And yeah, let's create that. So we can it says here that we have to defer the close of the state. We can do that, and we can pass in some files, right? That's fine. Okay, Lua new state. We pass in the out. What does that return us? That returns us a pointer to a state, which is fine. We can defer state.close. Are there any errors in this? No. So in here we can do a state dot, is it run string or do string or something? And that will actually run the Lua file, right? That's kind of what we want here. So obviously we're not going to do this right now because we need to add, just for the sake of it, yeah, let's add another function that will be called, you know, load file or something. Oh, maybe we don't even need that. We can just assume that we have a file name here, which is called my Lua example.lua. And we're going to read that. So file contents is going to be equals to the os.read file. And then we're going to read the file name here. We're going to pass this in a bit, by the way. So this is through some command line arguments, right? Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Let me know if you guys are following. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just setting up to read a Lua file and then run it from inside Go. That's all I'm trying to do here. Because I just want to play with this library a little bit and see how it would work out in a wider context in Rust, in Urchin, and then we can include that to Urchin, right? So maybe, you know, when it actually comes to integrating into Urchin, we can have a map where we have the sort of like shortcode name and then the Lua file that's going to be handling that shortcode. That's all. And we can make it very configurable for the user and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so file contents, read file name. Does that return an error as well? Antonio Jr. Brazil. Is that a different Antonio or the same one? If it's the same Antonio, hello Antonio, thank you for changing your name. By the way, guys, I'm not sure if there's anyone watching, but first of all, like the video. If you like it, it will help me out very much. Second of all, Artisan here, so Antonio has recently got a job. I think it's a pretty big company, if you know Amazon. So can we get a heart emoji or a clap emoji? I'm not sure if that's available, but yeah. Congratulations, Antonio. That's all I wanted to say. I'm sure you deserve it, dude. So, right, this returns an error. That's what it's complaining about. And then if the error is a nil, we're gonna do something here, right? So fmt.printf could not read the file. We got a grand total of 1 heart emoji, but thank you very much anyway. So os.exit is the thing, exit, and we have -1 here. Good, so that's gonna... But yeah, congrats, dude. You know, that's a very big feat, by the way, to be able to first of all, interview with them for so long, because I'm sure it was a long interview and a hard interview, for that matter. And you know, getting a job anywhere is difficult nowadays, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of people in the industry looking for a new job because, as you guys probably know, a lot of people were fired in the past year. So last year, for example, I remember looking at this jobs at the start of the year, and there was like those websites that tell you how many people have been fired recently. And I remember like at the time there was like 30 or 50,000 people in the UK being fired from tech companies. So these guys were all in the market at the same time as me. And I shit you not, I was probably interviewing for a good maybe 2 months until I found 2 or 3 interviews where I actually went further and progressed enough to kind of get an offer, or to that stage. One of them didn't give me an offer in the end, and I ended up with 2 companies that gave me an offer where I work now, and a different company that did some streaming software and hardware as well. So that was pretty cool. But I decided to go with my company because, you know, it was Rust and I kind of wanted to learn it. But point is, it was very, very difficult to find a job, and it's still very difficult today to find a job just because of the sheer amount of people in the market. So, you know, congrats for getting a job, dude. That's all I'm saying, because you clearly are better than most people out there. So you should pat yourself on the back for it. File contents, okay. And I'm not sponsored by Coca-Cola, by the way. I hope I don't have to specify that. I wish I was though, so Coca-Cola, hit me up if you want to sponsor me. I probably would charge you very, very cheap as well, because I don't have any viewers. But yeah, so we've got the Lua file here, and we did the Lua file. What kind of... We get a byte array, right? So I guess we can turn this into a string, right? We can do a string into file contents here. And what happens when we read it? I guess we can, you know... What can we get here? So state options, panic, check int, check string. What does that do? What do these functions actually do? I want to see what's actually returned from Lua. So file content, do string. What else is available to me from the state? I kind of want to like be able to read the variables and stuff that we define in it. So I guess we can read the stack. Is that correct? Check user types, check user data, concat, context. There you go. So we can read the context. Context returns the else states context. To change the context, use with context. Okay. So I guess we can do that. Do file. Oh, there is a do file function here. Oh, okay. That solves things quite a lot for us. So does it return an error? It does. So we need to do error. All of this is going to go because now we have just the file name here. So this will do what? So do file actually will read the file and execute the code. That's what I'm wondering. Does it read the file and execute the code, or just reads the file? I guess we'll find out, right? So if error is nil, ooh. My microphone is right in front of my keyboard, by the way. That's why I keep getting typos, because sometimes I have to look down my keyboard to make sure I'm in the right position. I can touch type for the most part, but sometimes I move my hand in the wrong places, so... Okay, so let's see if we can compile this, shall we? So go build cmd app package not in std main.go. Okay, so we now have a main here. Yeah, no such file directory. That's fine. What we can do now is we can use our trustworthy ChatGPT here to generate us a very nice Lua file that will just print us some hello world functions, right? So what can we do here? So write a simple Lua script that defines a function to calculate the Fibonacci numbers. That's it. That's all I want. I don't know how to write Lua, that's why I'm doing this, by the way. So how does this do it? Okay, this does it in the very inefficient way of actual recursion, right? It's not doing a map or anything like that, as far as I can tell. So, but that's fine. We can do this anyway. So that's what I want to put in my Lua example.lua here, right? So I'm going to put that in there. And at the end of it, I'm going to do a printf, right? Printf. The 10th Fibonacci number. Did I spell Fibonacci right? Yeah, no, there's only one. Yeah, Fibonacci number is, and then we can do seems like I can do this, right? Okay. Let's see if this runs, shall we? So I kind of want to. Okay, could not execute a Lua file. Lua attempt to call a non-function object in line 11. Fibonacci. What does that mean? Attempt to call a non-function object. I don't know what that means. All of you Brazilians out here that know how to write Lua, of course, let me know if what I'm getting wrong here. Because I'm kind of going blind into this. I've never actually done any Lua before. I know of it, but not able to replicate this issue. So what could be? I mean, it could mean that this is not a function object, I guess. First of all. Ah, okay, so printf is not a thing. It's just print. Okay, it's just print. That's why. That kind of worked fairly well. I wasn't expecting this to work really. But that's fine. So that how could we? Once we have this state and we've run the thing, how could we actually make sure that we have what we want? So basically, what I'm going to be asking people to do is to write something like, you know, handle shortcode here, right? And this will take a. I mean, I'm just going to copy and paste from Urchin now because Urchin already does this, but in Golang, I'm just going to convert the code to Lua and see if we can turn this into a plugin. So all the shortcode stuff that I was talking about, where we replace something like this, whenever we see this, we're going to replace it to a Markdown file. Or whenever we see something like table, we're going to replace to the table with the actual code for a Markdown table, right? That's what we want to do. So let's see. So by the way, before we continue, what are you guys up to today? Kind of want to hear what you're all up to on this Saturday evening. I know that it's not quite an evening for Brazil. I think it's, you know, some of you are probably in like Sao Paulo or something where it's only like, what time is it? 4 o'clock? So you better be in your churrasco. And staying with family as well, right? But we've also got some people from India here as well. I think Kanal is from India. So that's very late, dude. I hope you get some sleep, man. Don't feel too obliged to stay here, man. Get some sleep whenever you can. So development, Urchin. My day off, 4 PM in the US. So Artisan, 4 PM in the US. So are you in the US, Antonio? I thought you were Wait, Artisan. You're not Antonio. 1 second. I'm so confused. I thought Artisan was Antonio from Brazil, but then there's another Antonio here that's actually from Brazil. That's interesting. Antonio Jr. Same time zone. Oh yeah, it's not quite the same time zone. There are, you know, 1 or 2 hours differences, depending on where in the US you are. So yeah, nice day off. Also, can I interest you guys in kind of starring my project on GitHub? So if you guys have GitHub, please go on Urchin, which link on the description, by the way, and click on this big beautiful star button here that you're gonna see, star. And I'll appreciate that very much, by the way. It's just gonna keep bringing this project to random people on GitHub. That's what stars do, basically. And you know, with a bit of luck, we get some more people on the contributor list here. Which, by the way, you guys are welcome to try and contribute to any of this. If you see that any of the ideas in the stream are a bit crazy and you want to do things better, you know, feel free to raise a PR, and I will gladly look at it and discuss with you your code. So yeah. Yeah, so handle shortcode, right? So what I was kind of doing is going into Urchin, and I'm on the right branch here, which has my image shortcode stuff. And whenever we had the shortcode, which is going to be here somewhere, you can see this function here. This is what we're going to try and kind of turn into a Lua function, right? So we've got like shortcode to Markdown, and it takes in a shortcode string, which is this bit here. Let me show you. Shortcode string would be this bit here. It takes all of what's inside here and transforms it to Markdown, so it returns a string, right? So this is the input, and that is the output. So yeah. So this is what we have to turn into a plugin here, because you know, right now it's just hard coded in Golang, and it has to be there at compile time, so the users can't provide any extra ones. But this is what we're gonna do. So yeah. So first of all, we're gonna string split in Lua. And from the looks of it, Lua is kind of like Python, right? So we don't have to provide anything, so you can just have the shortcode here. And we can just return a big string at the end. So return my result here, right? This is kind of what we will do. And then obviously the to-dos are like, oh, what are comments like? Are there comments in Lua? This is interesting. Oh, there are. They're just a little bit different, a little bit special. I'm enjoying Lua so far. So we want to split the string on this to get a command. I guess not even that, right? So what we want to do here is pass in the arguments itself. Yeah, so let's see how we can get a vector in Lua, shall we? So write a Lua function that takes in a vector of strings. So strings, so yeah, I mean, you don't pass in the type at all. It's not type safe, right? So we can do arguments here, right? And we can assume that is an argument to our function, right? And is length or size a thing? IPairs. So write a Lua function that takes a vector of strings and returns its size, right? This is a special way of doing sizes. I've never seen that way before, but I like it. So we have to do something like if the size of arguments equals 1. Wait, how do we even do if statements here? Wait, how? Yeah, this is going to be a GPT GPT stream. How to do if statements in Lua. Okay. Local x. If condition is equals to that. Okay, so it seems pretty. There's a then here. It's kind of like bash, right? An end at the very end. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. So we have if the arguments is 1, then we do this. Else if. Is that correct? Else if altogether. The size of arguments is equals to, then that. And else. Then we have end here. We would like to return some sort of like, I guess some error size, but we can just return an empty string for now, right? So, right. So if we have one argument to this particular function, which means we have the image. In this particular case, you know, you can have up to 2 arguments. You can have let me get a text up here so you guys will understand. So you can have image here, which is the name of the shortcode. This is not going to be passed into the function. This is what we do in Golang. This is what we're going to use to kind of forward the arguments, which are these ones here, to the correct Lua function, right? So we can have, in the image one, we can have the image either one arg or two args where we have the alt text here as well. So alt text right here, right? So that's what we're going to allow. And let's see. And if you guys are interested, let me know, because I can explain how this whole thing is working, but it's just a mixture of regex and string operations, right? But yeah, so we have the keys and the values. So if we have length 1, we do an sprintf here. Okay, so can we do that? So fprintf. Let's do it. There's a built-in function sprintf. There isn't a built-in function like sprintf for some of our languages, but you can achieve a similar function using the string format function. Okay, good. String format is the one, it seems, right? So let's do that. Can we have Lua here? This would help us a lot, right? If we had a Lua language server. Okay, so we do have Lua now. Okay, so yeah, now we have code completion for Lua. So format, and then we can have the string here, and this is the string media s. Media and then s here, and then this would be the name, the argument. And Lua starts with 1, right? That's the annoying thing with Lua, if I'm not mistaken. That's one thing I know about Lua, is that the arrays start at 1. Right? Wait. I'm pretty sure Lua arrays start at 1. However, it's customary in Lua to start arrays with index 1. The Lua libraries adhere to this convention, so if your arrays also start with 1, you will be able to use their functions directly. Okay. Hello, Carlos. That's another good name to see on this beautiful Saturday evening. How's it going, man? How's work this week? Hopefully it was all smooth, right? Right, so let me see. So start. We can use constructions to create initialize arrays in a single expression. Dude, I just want a quick example. Like, give me an array and then how you get values in it. Zero index arrays only really make sense in languages with pointers, since in C, an is essentially an alias for, yeah, we know that. Wait, how to write lists in Lua? Right, so Lua. Okay, so the for loop seems to include this value as well, right? From the looks of it. And it does start with 1, so I mean, yeah. Bit annoying. Why did Lua do it different? I don't know. Brazilians everywhere, right? God damn it, Brazilians. Gotta be different. So yeah, we want the arguments 1 if it's size 1. Otherwise, we do strings. Wait, what the hell? Image source, yeah, that's the image source actually. Does that return me a string? Function string format. So returns a formatted version of this variable. Okay, so we can do the image src here. 0% pretend it doesn't happen. Yeah. Couldn't even touch any code this week. Oh no, Carlos. Hardly had time to do anything this week. Yeah, man. I mean, that's hopefully that's just a bit because it's the start, right? So hopefully things will get a little bit more calm for you, man. I mean, you'll be able to do coding again in your free time. Index 0 has left the chat, indeed. Yeah, rip index 0, unfortunately. yeah, you know, index 0 is also just a convention because of, you know, languages like C. As that thing that we just read said, it's actually true. It's only a convention because of languages with pointers, right? And you can learn more about pointers and how arrays kind of directly... Arrays indices is just a shorthand for syntactic sugar for adding pointers. So yeah. So we have the image source here, and then we actually have to return a string.format. And then we can have the little this here, I guess, right? So we can have... Wait, why am I on caps lock? Is that how I... Yeah. So image... And then the actual image, it's in here. So we have image src. Right, that's all. And then the other one, we're also going to have image source and then the alt text here. We don't have to... Well, this is just arguments 2, right? Or in fact, do we even need this variable at all? Probably not. We can just return a strings.format. And then this is where we have the interesting stuff. So alt text here, and then the image source here. Arguments 2, and then image src. And that's it. That's the function to us. that's the return function. Do we not need anything? Unreachable code? Yeah, we can remove that. So now I'm hoping that whenever we run this file, this is going to define this function, and we can call it later on in our Golang application here. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing in Urchin later. I'm running out of Coca-Cola. Lucky for me, I bought like a crate of 8 of them. But yeah, I can't drink any more Coca-Cola after this one. Otherwise I will not go to sleep. So we do file, and I guess that's going to read the file as well. And then if we do the same, this state here, and then do string, does it work if we do something like print, and then we do, what was it, handle shortcode, and then we pass in something like whatever we had. So is this how you do lists, inline lists in Lua? I'm interested now. Oh, this is how we do it. So it's a curly brace, another little difference here that we love in Lua. So we do curly braces here, and then we can do, oh, okay, so now we can do, come in, okay, now we can do something like image path.jpg here, and then the alt text. Right? I do wonder if this is gonna work. So let's see. Let's compile this again. Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. Go build main. Oh yeah, it does seem to work, right? So there you go. We've done a plugin, a plugin kind of backend for our shortcodes. So yeah, I've always been curious about writing Lua. Got to look into it. Yeah, it seems to be just simple, dude. It seems to be like a different Python, basically. What I do know about Lua is that the runtime for the language itself is extremely minimal. So like it's very small for you to include a Lua interpreter into any program. It's only like, if I remember well, when I was looking into it, it's like it adds 3 megabytes to your binary or something. So like it's extremely like small, the runtime, right? That's what we can agree on. That's why people include it in games and whatnot. So you know, other people, the users, can provide code at runtime that will behave such as like, you know, like plugins basically. So, which is good. Now the thing is, how do I access whatever value on the variable on a variable here? So for example, if I had hello equals this, does this still run? Does it still run? Let's see. Yeah, it does run, but the thing is, I kind of want to... Well, first of all, let's create a debug file. And I want to see how we can access that variable from Golang, right? Because there's got to be a way to access the variable from Golang, right? But yeah, so if we look into handle shortcode, nope, Golang launch.json, that's my bad. And if we look at Go, oh, we have way too much. We still got Mojo installed. We got to uninstall that shit. Like, I install things for the streams and I never uninstall them, so we end up having like 10 different LSPs running, which is not ideal. I need to sort out. You know, ideally, I'll be able to buy a new computer at some point this year, but as you guys probably know, computers are very expensive now, so you know, I'm kind of poor at the moment. But yeah, that dev job isn't paying off for me, guys. So launch a file, launch a text function, launch a package. Let's go for the test package, right? I guess so Lua, and then program is going to be inside my workspace folder, into CMD, into app there. Yeah, right, and now we should be able to call it with delve. So let's see it. Okay, yeah, good. So we read the file, could not execute load. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean the working directory is different, I believe, here, right? So that's all we need to do. CWD, this is going to be in workspace folder, and that is it. Let's run it again. Now we read it. Now let's see what's in the state here. So what can we get from the state? There's a stack. There's definitely a stack. Data. Oh, there's an array here. So what's on the top of the stack? It would be sick if we can access the stack. That would be amazing. Lua registry. So what is Lua registry? I guess this is like a registry of functions and stuff. Not entirely sure. Dude, this is a big array. Is there anything in any of these files? There's nothing in the registry. I don't know how Lua works, by the way, so if you guys have any ideas of what a Lua registry is, let me know, because it seems to be quite an important thing in the documentation for this library. So I should probably learn what it is. You know, from the name, I'm guessing it's where it registers, like the context or something, right? I don't know. And the context is nil here. Now there is one thing here though. I noticed that we have a stack. Here. Stack pointer is at 0. So what is this? So prototype. This is huge, by the way. I can see like the call stack keeps getting deeper and deeper. So what I can say is huge props to the people who wrote this, because this is a full-on interpreter written in Golang for Lua. And it's complicated. So I'm trying to get this value hello out of it, basically. That's what I'm trying to do. So how do we assign something Lua? I guess it's just the equals, right? Yeah, it's equals. Let's try and get the stack and see what gets returned to us, shall we? So if we do something like value state.stack get, what does get return us? I don't know what get returns us. Maybe we can take a look at the documentation, shall we? So the data model. Oh, call stack and registry. Does it say what it? Both the registry and the call stack is this. The registry of an L state. Yeah, this doesn't explain what a registry is though. It just says that you can set the number of bytes, I guess, that you want for the stack. Not interesting to us. Call stack. The call stack can operate in 2 different modes. Fixed or auto size. A fixed size call stack has the highest performance. Oh, so that's probably what we want. Highest performance and has a fixed memory overhead. An auto sizing call stack will allocate and resize call stack pages on demand, which will ensure the minimum amount of memory is in use at any time. The downside is it will incur a small performance impact every time a new page of a call frame is allocated. By default, an else state. This is really interesting, by the way. This is like, these guys have written an entire, well, literally a virtual machine for, for Lua that will sort out your call stack and everything like that. So I'm quite impressed by this library. Anyway, so how do we get some value from outside, from within the Lua context to Go? That's what I want to do. So any function registered with Gopher-Lua is a Lua LG function. So what are we calling Go from Lua? Okay, we don't want that. We have Lua. We want to call Lua from Go, basically. No, coroutines is not what we want either. Yeah, so the get function seems to be the value at the top of the stack if you pass -1 to it. Let's try that one. Let's try that one. What does that return us? Let's see what we get, shall we? It's a nil type. Lua only uses positive integers. I don't know, does it? Well, -1 seems well, they say -1 here, but this is not quite Lua, by the way. This is the Golang library. Yeah, so this value is not in the stack. Hello is not in the stack from the looks of it. The value is nil. Do they have any examples? You know, one of the things I like to do is to kind of go inside their examples and calls Lua, for example. That looks like a nice test, right? So we have low. Oh no, this is Lua. I like to go in their unit test and see if they have anything similar to us, right? So script test.go, does that work? Let's see. Error if script not fail. Okay. Test stack overflow when fixed. Okay, so this is testing the stack. Test get and replace. Let's see if we have any like examples that could be useful to us. That's what I'm looking for here. Just some sort of like Lua code and then us getting a value from it. Function coroutine. Error if script fail. Get global. Okay, so get global seems to be the one. Does it work? Let's try that. Get global. Does that work? Let's see now. Right, so it does work. Oh, get global does work. So for now, as a very simple sort of hacky solution, we can kind of just run with this, right? I guess this is fine. So yeah, I'm fairly happy with this. This is something that could work for us in less than 5 lines of code, to be honest, with this library. So I'm fairly happy that this is going to work fine. So let's do that. Artisan, I must be thinking of something else. Wrong context. No worries, Artisan. I mean, you probably know more Lua than me anyway, man. I mean, even Notepad can read Lua. Yeah, even Notepad can read Lua, yeah. So, should we actually include this in the PR? Should we do it? Should we make the change? I think we should, right? So, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's begin by adding this to Urchin, right? I mean, we keep adding more and more dependencies. I need to actually stop at some point. Every time I do something in Urchin, I add a new dependency or something, and it's not ideal. So go get that. And we already have Urchin available here, right? That's good. So what we want to do is like, we want to be able to provide some, first of all, we want to be able to provide that configuration that we just talked about, right? So yeah, it must have that. Must have function handle shortcode, which takes in the arguments, which is a list of string, and returns a string. So let's first of all change this config, right? And I believe it's actually in the common app settings, I believe. Let's see, app settings, yeah, there you go. So app settings struct has all of this, right? So maybe we can add another one here, which is the, I guess, the plugins. What did we call it? Or shortcodes, right? And then this is going to be a this, and then in the TOML file, we're going to call it shortcode. Yeah, that should be it. So now if we pause this particular thing here, we should be Gucci. Actually, it can't be it has to be an array of shortcode, right? And then we have to add that type in. So type shortcode. I was specifically thinking of Nintendo 3DS, big fail. No worries, man. So that will be a struct. Ooh, strong. I like that. Struct. And we're gonna have the name there, which is gonna be a string, and in the TOML file, we're gonna call it name. And we're simply gonna copy and paste this and do the plugin. Yeah, I think this explains as well, right? So the plugin, the Lua plugin path, that's what we're gonna do here. And yeah, so plugin, that should work fine for me. And now we have everything that we need to actually be able to parse this, right? So we have plugin, let's say we have it in Lua or in scripts or plugins. And we have the image shortcode, right? And we're, of course, I'm gonna have to kind of initialize the handle shortcode somewhere. Sorry, we're gonna have to initialize a map somewhere where we have where we map the name of the shortcode to a particular Lua file or a particular Lua context. I don't know how this is gonna run yet. Maybe we can just load the Lua context on the go, right? Loading it on the go every time kind of works as long as the Lua scripts aren't too big and doing too much shit. But yeah, so we can do that. And by the way, this is, you know, adding Lua interpretation at runtime is a pretty big security risk if you think about it, because you're allowing users to input any kind of script or runtime into your Golang. So whatever permissions your Golang application has, that Lua script is also probably going to have the same thing. So we could be, you know, kind of sending things over the web somewhere else. So it is a big security risk. However, this has only been used in the context of shortcodes, and yeah, people can still be malicious about that, really. But I'm happy to introduce it now. Anyway, plus, like, for them to be able to do this, then a hacker must be in your machine, so they can like put the file down in the kind of like in the same directory as the Golang application or whatever the Golang application can access. And then they have to be able to restart the application with a new config and say that the plugin is now initialized. So it is a security risk, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, for them to be able to do that, that means they have to be in your machine somewhere. So you've got bigger problems if that's actually happening, right? Anyway, so let's keep going. So we have, let's sort everything out here. And let's add a new folder called plugins right here. And this is where we're going to have the Lua script. So image shortcode.lua. And then we can kind of copy whatever we had here. So if we just cat Lua example, we can just copy and paste that. And that should work fine, right? We don't have a to-do here anymore. Handle shortcode is not used, right? Global variable in lowercase initial. Did you miss the local or misspell it? No. Can I put global? Global variable in lowercase initials. Does that work? No. What does this mean in Lua? So I wonder what this means. I want to fix it right before we actually do this. What is the naming convention in Lua? Come on guys, you should be helping me on this. I'm only joking, by the way. Jesus, what is this? This is giving me a headache. The screenshot is giving me a headache. Global variable in lowercase initial. Did you mean... No, we don't mean to have it as a local variable. Is that a little bit happier? Yeah, I mean, you just got to change it to capital K's, I guess. So, not quite camel K's. Is it camel K's? I don't know. I think it is, right? Camel K's. But that's fine. We can just say that this has to be a handle shortcode. Yeah, so now what happens if I actually run the application? Let's see. And if I look into my CMS app, which file do I want? I want app or main.go. Yeah, let's put a breakpoint here. I just want to make sure that this is running fine. Reading config file, info message. Last key, shortcodes incompatible. Destination, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? So shortcodes, oh, okay, yeah, so we weren't expecting shortcodes because it has this. Right, that's what we needed to do, I guess. I'm chilling in my backyard on the grass. I'm gonna fall asleep again. Dude, Carlos, man, if you're tired, dude, just do it. Pascal K's. Pascal K's, yeah. Camel K's is this one here, right? So Camel K's, I guess. And this is Pascal K's. That makes more sense. Thank you, dude. By the way, let me know how delayed you guys are, because that was like literally 2 minutes ago. So if it's that delayed, I can probably try and like make it better here. So the duration, I don't know how to change that. I mean, it's already on the lowest delay on OBS. So anyway, so we have name, that's going to be image, plugin images shortcode. So image shortcode.lua, right? And then we have that. Global variable in lowercase. So what? Do I have to put local in here? No way. That's crazy. I was just low on my finding my notes. Oh, no worries, Artisan. Antonio, sorry. No worries, Antonio. No worries at all. I do notice that some people sometimes are very delayed though. Let's try that again. So we have at least one shortcode now. There you go. So we have... Ooh. Okay, right. So we do have app settings now. With one shortcode. And we have image, which is handled by this here. Right, that's great. Now, my app settings is the thing that's controlling all the state in my program, right? I kind of want to do a map as well. I just woke up from one, it's fine, not too delayed. Thank you, Carlos. I'm happy that you can fall asleep to my voice, man. Must mean I have a nice voice, right? Does that mean I can do ASMR now? Because I can definitely start doing ASMR. ASMR coding. I kind of need a nicer keyboard for that, though. Yeah, so like, how can we initialize ASMR coding tricks? Yeah. I mean, first of all, just put your microphone right next to the keyboard. It probably doesn't sound as nice because I have a bunch of filters that kind of add bass to my voice, so it actually sounds like what I sound like in real life. Otherwise, it just sounds too high, and it's, yeah. But I would have to remove those filters first, and then type on the keyboard. Keep it that way. I was about to go. So, right. Yeah, so I need to initialize the map now for the shortcodes, right? But the thing is, that map has to be available within certain functions, right? So certain handlers. In fact, it's not meant to be in my normal CMS application. It's meant to be on the admin app, because I'm only like expanding the shortcodes whenever someone sends a post request, for example. So that has to be in my admin app, and yeah, I guess let's look at that. Maybe I'll go in the admin app. Let's close everything else for now. And the function that I actually need to be on, what do we have here? So setup routes should basically take in Wait, how do I do a map type in Golang? Jesus Christ. How long have I been writing Golang for now? Basically 2 months, and I still can't remember what the map type looks like in Golang. And give it to me, go by example. Yeah, map. Okay, it's just map string and int. So yeah, we need the thing here to be a map string and int. Yeah, so in this case it would be a string and then Lua dot something, right? I guess. So did I even add the Lua thing to it? I think I did, right? So we can import it here. Was it Lua.state? Lua. I can't remember what it was now. Is it null state? There you go. Was a null state, by the way, so you know it just has pointers everywhere. That's good. That means I can probably copy it safely, right? Yeah. So now what we need to do is like have the shortcodes or something like that in here, right? So the shortcode is going to be the map that we get. And why do I need it here? Well, I need it here because I actually have to put it in my post handler, right? So this is where I do all the post shenanigans, so I can have the shortcodes or the shortcode handlers, which is going to be a map of string to lua.l state, I believe it is, right? Which is good. And then I can pass it in here. So shortcodes. Right. I am pretty sure I probably broke quite a few tests. No? Maybe? Or just the main one. Yeah, now I basically just need a new function here to kind of load the shortcodes. Which is probably going to return me what do I pass in here. So I guess we just do the shortcodes as a list of shortcode. And in here I can return that map, which goes from strings to lua.l state. Right? I'm not sure if this is the most efficient way of doing things, by the way, because we're basically keeping the state alive forever, right? Forever. But yeah. So we have that, and then what we want to do is like for each, I guess, shortcode in for each of those, we want to be able to read the file, the Lua state. So I guess we're going to create, we're going to create the state, which is lua.new state right here. So it will be nice for us to know which options we need to put here, because this has things like whether or not you want a static like stack size, you want a dynamic stack size, a static or dynamic registry size, which will affect, you know, things, especially like how much memory is used within the program. But we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go for the default stuff. I guess they already have some default options, but we can read about that later, right? So we're going to create that state. And then, does it return an error by any chance? No, it doesn't. And in fact, we're going to change it to a map, to a pointer to a Lua state there. That's fine. And then we're going to do state.do file and shortcode.plugin, right? And up here, we're going to have the result, or the shortcode handlers, which is going to be making, I guess, the type itself, which is a map of string to lua.l state up here. And then the size, just going to be 0 for now. How do I append? How do I add? How do I add to a map? Is it append by any chance? Is it append? So create, add, and get deleted. Yeah, we've done a bunch of inline maps. I'm fine with that. Just like dynamically increasing size. For each range loop, okay. Okay, so it's just a normal like addition, normal map addition like you would normally expect. That's fine. Now do file, that is going to give me an error, right? So I do need to handle the error. So error is there, and if the error isn't nil, we're just going to return the error. Right. Oh, of course, we want error here. Does that work by the way? How to do inline maps again? We just looked at it, but let's look at it again. Yeah, so map. Okay. And then we can kind of fudge do the rest of them. Yeah, so at this stage, like we've added to the map that particular plugin that's gonna load the function, right? Which is amazing. And no, ideally up here as well, like whenever we load the function, so we do need to do a thing as well. So we need to check that the function exists, the function handle, what is it, handle shortcode. Exists and returns the correct type, right? At the very least, we need to do that check here, but we're not going to do it in the stream. We're going to do it later on a separate PR maybe. So what are you guys finding so far? First of all, do you guys understand what I'm trying to do? Like, is it clear what I'm trying to do? Because this is fairly simple. It's not too difficult. You'll make it more difficult in a second. We're gonna finish this in like basically 10 minutes. So hopefully once we do that, I can show you exactly what I mean. Okay, yeah, I mean we do that, and then at the very end we can return the shortcode handlers and nil here, right? And that's the load shortcode handlers function for us. Yeah, okay, good. So, you know, before we actually start the map here, we do need to handle the shortcodes. So load shortcode handlers, and then we have the app settings.shortcodes, I believe it is. We cannot have this song because it keeps giving us a copyright strike, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So yeah, I'm getting very good at like figuring out which songs are playing straight away, so I remove them when we don't get a copyright strike. So load shortcode handlers, that's what we're gonna do, and if error is a nil, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a log.error f msg f could not load I just realized that in the error message here, we should probably be a bit more specific and then actually put some more context to it, right? So something like, you know, could not load. And then here we can have the shortcode name. And the error itself, right? Yeah, good. At least we'll know what happens in here. And then down here we can do an error f, which we already have. Error f. What? Okay, yeah. I mean, this error is already pretty good, so I'm just gonna pass it on. Okay, and then we have the shortcode handlers for us right here, right? And we cannot use that. Yep, that's because we messed up on the type. It should have really been this type here. And the same thing for this one here. We just want to point to that, right? all happy, everything is good. So yeah, I mean, this is basically the work done, because now what we have to do is to go into wherever we're setting up the roots and doing the post handler here. And instead of transform content calling that Golang one, and by the way, this is how it all works. So whenever I have a post with a bunch of text, right, so something like, it's probably actually easier if I show it to you guys, right? So let me get that very quickly. So if, for example, I'm sending a post body with all this stuff here as the content, right? It will look for the shortcode. So in other words, this thing here, you know, all of this, and then it will replace this with the correct output from the shortcode plugin. That's all it is. How do I do that? Well, it's very easy. I mean, if I run a regex, which is not, I guess, the most performant way possible, to find this particular pattern where we have a shortcode name preceded by 2 curly braces, and then we have this format here for the arguments, and then the end braces, right? So it finds all of them, finds the positions of all of them. It splits the text, so whatever comes before gets into its own position in an array. Whatever comes after is the following position until the next one. Say there was another one here, it will split that one out as well, and keep doing it so. And then we kind of join the text again at the end by replacing whatever the gaps we had, which are the shortcodes, with the outputs from the function. It's fairly performant, I would say. I mean, we have like one pass of the data with the regex, and then only another pass of the data because we're splitting stuff and filling the gaps, basically. So yeah. So I'm hoping that it works fine. It's not well tested yet, I must say, but it is something that I'll be adding in the PR. But anyway, yeah, this is how it works. So this is the regex that I was talking about, and we have all the positions found in the string. We have the partition, so this is a text partition, basically. And then for every kind of shortcode that we have, I add the partition of a text and then the shortcode following that, and then the next one, and so on and so forth. So that is it. It's very simple. An algorithm that's actually very simple, once you understand what I'm meant to be doing. So shortcode to Markdown, right? This is the function that we have to basically redo. Because in here you can see that I'm doing everything in Golang, right? But what I could be doing instead is, you know, I could be taking in that shortcode handlers here. Which is a map of string to a pointer of to a Lua pointer here, I'll state. Right, and if it's an image, I mean, this is what I can see, right? We don't even need this array anymore. So the values are up there. So what we need to do now is basically just make sure that it's in the map, right? So this is fairly dynamic already. So how do we do that? So we do shortcode handlers. Okay, so keys. So it contains a thing. Let's see here. So create slices of it, clear maps. How do I safely get a value from the map without just using the operator? I must be here as well, right? Yeah, I apologize. As you guys can probably tell, I don't write that much Rust. I mean Golang apart from this. Ah, okay, so that returns the value, I guess, and a boolean, whether it's true or false. So, okay, yeah, fine. So we can do that. So if we found value and found, I guess, from shortcode handlers, and then we have whatever the name is of the shortcode, the key. So what is the value here? Expected Boolean expression found assignment. Huh? Ah, okay, we were just missing that. So if found, then we can proceed to use the value, right? Actually, let's call this the handler. Terrible name, I know, but oh well. Maps in Go return booleans and values. Yeah, thank you. I just found that out. Thank you, Carlos. So what we do have now is the handler here, right? So this to us we can do handler dot, I guess, do string, right? And what we want to do is like result is going to be equals to handle. Now this is where we have to actually look at the Lua file. There you go. So what was it called? Handle shortcode. Okay, so we can do an fmt.sprintf here. And then here we're going to pass in the values, right? Oh, right. So this is going to be interesting. 1 second. Because the value should be in this format here, right? So value about 1, about 2. So it's basically my values joined, I guess. Okay, yeah, we can do that. So this is easy, right? This is strings, I believe it is, dot join. And we have values. And that. I believe that's it. We have one lower case here, so there you go. So do string, does that return me an error? Because I want to check the error, right? Yeah, it does. So error is going to be equal to that. And if error is a nil, we are going to print an error here, right? So we're going to return an invalid string and something like, you know, this didn't work very well. Error. Okay, that's fairly good now. That also sounds like a Disney-like thing, so I'm gonna move it to the next song so we don't get a copyright strike. If I'm understanding what you want to do is you might need to use the Q formatted formatter. I don't know why. I just want to pass it to a Lua slice, basically. So slice in Lua is like brackets, curly braces, and then everything inside it like a normal like list in all the other languages. So I think this should work, right? We'll try this though and see. Which is good. And now, yeah, I mean that's one of them. So we were able to run this shortcode here. Now what we have to get is we need to go into handler dot global get, or get local, get global, and we want to do result right here, right? Because result is set in here, and we want to get a result value. And what will this get me? This will get me an L value, right? This will get me an L value. And I got to make sure what can I do here? So string type. So type string. Okay. Let's do that. So maybe if we can we can check this, right? So if value is equals to string, seems like string will work. But if value is not equals to string, I guess. Yeah, colors, what does the Q formatter do? I will check out in a second. So we had an error running the key, and the invalid type would be something like I don't know how to redo it here, so there you go. There you go. So now we can return simply, I guess, the value, right? So the ret type, value dot string. That should work, and nil here. So let's see if this this whole thing is gonna work, shall we? Yeah, that's it. And this is the same code that's gonna be running for all of the Lua plugins that people will kind of write into this. So kind of want to run this. Should we actually run this? Yeah, let's see. So obviously we're already gonna load one of the files that we added, the Lua files that we added here. So we want to use a main. Okay, so I want to put a breakpoint right here and see if it actually is going to work fine. Now post.go doesn't compile. Why not? Why does it not compile though? What does that take? Handlers, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, because transform doesn't have the shortcode handlers, right? It just helps with returning escaped strings. Ah, okay. I didn't know that. I'll take a look at that shortly. Okay, now we have an error here, which... And I think that's it, right? We passed the whole thing down the stack. Good. So Q would return hello, and rather than just hello. I see. Yeah, definitely useful. Let's run the admin application. And we are here, shortcode handlers. No errors, so we do actually have one, you see. We have one shortcode handler for image, which is good, right? Let's run the application. Now we're running. But say we were still sending that postman that has that particular post in it, that I'm like basically just doing a shortcode for the image, and I am simply passing the image file here. If I were to send this, let me take a look at my post code actually, because I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen. I do have a breakpoint there. Yeah, if I were to send this, so we hit that breakpoint, we found the shortcode, you see, we found the partitions, and this is the interesting part. So that this is where, you know, we've got one particular shortcode in here, which is at this position, and we return empty. An error. Error doesn't work. Yeah, so error running shortcode. Near B8. Something near B8. What the hell? Yeah, and then we can send the error back to the user, right? So something didn't quite work. And yo, Slim. Hello, dude. Something didn't quite work. And what didn't work? Error invalid. Error running shortcode string line 1 column near B8 syntax error N. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Carlos. Maybe that's exactly what you're talking about. There's too many kind of escapings for me. I'm gonna run it again and see what happens. I'm gonna send the same thing. Right, this is also looking like a game that we shouldn't talk about because we get a copyright strike. How's it going, stream? It's nice to see you on stream, man. How's it going, Slim? I think I just called you stream for some reason. My mind is just so wrapped in this, dude, I can't think of anything else. So yes, we have that. We did find the handler. Now shortcode do string here. Let's see what we get. Elements strings. What the hell? Why is it only coming to me as this? sprintf. What? This is interesting. Yeah, now we obviously get an error now because like what? Why is this not returning me something nice though? So strings.join values. And join returns me a string, right? So a string and elements are separated. So the elements are here. What are the values? So I would expect this to be kind of right. What? Wait, what? That's very confusing. Let me just put this outside for a second. So the Lua string is going to be this whole thing here. And then I guess I can pass it to here. Let's see what in the hell is going on there, because I'm confused. So running the application, send that request again. I got Lua string. So Lua string. Yeah, there you go. So we handle shortcode. That is fine. So do string. So the source string here. There you go. So load string, return error. API error syntax. Line 1 column 39 near B8. What's B8 though? Ah, yeah, I see. There's no escaping there. That's my bad. Come on, guys. It's an easy mistake as well. That's fine. That's my bad. Can I do this? Does this work still though? Can I just transform them into something else? Yeah, I mean, this is going to work for one value, but I want to put the quotes onto every kind of string now, if it makes sense. I say transform array of string to string. I just want to add the... Is there a way to apply a single operation to all the strings? In Golang, or do I just have to write a for loop that will do that? Because that sounds fairly annoying, to be honest. Maybe there's something in strings, I guess. Strings dot count cut suffix equal fold. End loop. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, dude. So end loop. I mean, yeah, I could definitely do a for loop here, but like I want to see if there's a way to... Basically, like what we have here on Golang is this. So we have an array with all these strings like hello, world, right? What I want to do is transform this into... and here we go. So that and that. Hello. And then I can do the same thing. World here. Does it make sense? I want to like quote it. So then when I do join values, it comes out nicely and like all strings are quoted instead of the, you know, the non-quoted strings that was giving me the error in Lua. Partition. Strings partition. You know, you're gonna have to be a bit more specific than that, Antonio. Maybe it's something in here though. Equal fold field suffix apply or something. That's what I'm wondering. There you go, map. Map returns a copy of the string s with all its characters modified according to the mapping function. That sounds promising, because map usually is the one that we do. Returns a map. So strings map. Let's see an example of it. Oh, of course this doesn't work. Of course that is the wrong thing. Codecademy. Okay, so we can just do a function inside a function, right? Okay, good. That's a little bit better. So all I need to do is like function quote. And we take something like a rune here. And we're going to return a string as well. What is the difference between a rune and a string, by the way? This sounds too good for it not to be able, not to be copyrighted, but we're going to leave it as that. So rune and returns a rune. Can we do that? Okay, it's going to say that it's unused. What? What am I doing? Can I use estimate value as rune value in return? Wait, what? How do we even do this then? What is a rune? What is a rune? Ah, rune is a character. Ah, okay, it's a character. As far as I remember. Rune is like a character in Rust. It's a Unicode character, as far as I remember. Thank you, Day of Redemption. By the way, welcome to the stream, man. Good to see you here. I only seen rune and then this music. Like RuneScape music. No, I'm not quite looking for map then. I'm looking for something that maps the entire string. So transform. Contains, compare, clone, contains any. Look, I just want to map a value to another map, another quoted value. That's all. Delta run is a sequel to upper trim to title. Yeah, there's no map function in Rust. That's interesting. In Go, we're gonna do it the long way, guys. So we're gonna do quoted, I guess, values. I'm gonna call make string here size 0, and then for each value in the range of values, right? Because we have those. I'm gonna do append. Actually, quoted values dot append. Yeah, fmt dot sprintf. Robbie, nice emoji there. If you're talking about my frustration with Go not having a map function for strings, yeah, string. What kind of transformation do you want to do? I just want to like quote it. It's a simple one, simple problem. It's here, by the way. This is the problem I'm trying to do. So we have hello world. I want to return quote hello world quote, just so I can include it in my Lua thing, my Lua array here. They all have to be quoted because these are strings, right? It's an array of strings. But it's you know, easy enough for me to do it as a for loop. It's not a problem. But it's just annoying. It's annoying that there isn't a nice syntactic sugar for that. Do you know what day you will be doing DS stuff? Robin, good question, man. So I'm currently reading about ECS stuff, component systems, because my idea is to like be able to render some basic meshes on the DS and have a little ECS as well implemented by us. But that reading is still ongoing, man, because it's, you know, ECSs are quite big and there are so many different ways you can implement it. I'm still trying to figure out the best one, but hopefully this week we'll do something like the upcoming week. The problem with DS streams is like not many people are watching them. You are, Robin, and I love having you around, but it's very unpopular. But you know, it's gonna get more popular as we go because we're gonna get more and more functionality into the programs, and you know, people like having something to look at, and when you have like a whole mesh rendered on the DS, it looks better than just having a circle. So I guess we'll get more viewers. But yeah, that's the problem with this kind of streaming that I do. Like, you gotta start from somewhere, and usually when you start something out, there's nothing to see, and people don't really enjoy watching all the coding. Like, you know, you guys, I guess you guys are enjoying watching me here, but like most people just tune into the stream, see that I'm just like writing lines of code, and then they just tune off. There's nothing to show them at the start of something. So yeah. But at the same time, we've got to start somewhere, right? As I said. So quoted values, f sprint f, and then we want, ooh, and then we want that. That is it. That's all I want. This result append is never used. It may quote. What do you mean it's never used? It's here. Quoted values, quoted values. I don't understand why it's never used. Except maybe in other appends. It will be used right now though. Ah, there you go. Yeah, so now I'm expecting this to work a little bit better, and we'll see. And if this works, we have a way to basically insert a plugin that will do shortcodes in our posts. So just to remind you guys, the whole motivation for this is so we can turn shortcodes like this one here into something more useful, right? And we wanted to be able to let the user kind of provide their own shortcodes. So you can have like a plugin for Urchin, where, you know, we can have something else, like if we have something like, you know, table with 5 columns and 8 rows, the user can provide a Lua file that will handle this and replace this in their posts with the actual markdown for the table, right? So yeah, let's see if we can make this work now. So we don't have table, and we're going to see that in a second. Do we have something? Could not send request. Why not? think the apple's already running on a breakpoint or something. Did you search for Q? Not yet, dude. Sorry, I'm like in the middle of this, and once that's done, I'll take a look at the Q formatter. So we have shortcode handlers there. Okay, good. So we have started. Now let's try and send that request again. There you go. We've got that. And we've got the shortcodes here. So the Lua string does look nice now. Yeah, it looks like it should, right? Lua string. Oh, okay, so yeah, we've got one too many now, so we don't want that one. There you go. There's another error, but we fixed it. We got the shortcode plugins loaded. And the reason why I load all of them at the start and not on the go is because if there's any plugins that don't actually work, we can just stop them right here, right? We can just stop the app from starting, basically. And if you guys stick around, we can do the implementation for this table in Lua as well. So anyway, let's send it. I'm gonna go right down to business, which is here. So we do have the Lua string. There you go. It looks a lot better now, doesn't it? It looks a lot better. And there should be no errors now. There you go, nil. And we get the result. There you go. The result is the image. And it just replaces that in the post with the actual thing. And hopefully, you know, this is the second one now. Now we have table, right? So we have key value table 5&A. In this case, we don't have a plugin for table. So this should fail. Like we should not find here. So we have unsupported shortcode, which is returned from here. And we're just not going to replace it, right? So Markdown is 0 there. So at the moment I'm returning an error, which makes the whole kind of request fail, but I'm thinking very hard to not do that. Yeah. Maybe I'm just going to print the error. So error is not nil, so we can just do a log.error .msgf. Ooh, msgf. And Markdown is just going to be equals to kind of, if he wasn't already, I mean, it makes it clear now, which is good. I mean, let's go back to what we didn't want here. So we've got that. No need to quote all values for a valid Lua syntax. And then in here, we can just put the whole, I guess, thing here. And yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, let's do another one now, right? Should we do the table one? So if we wanted to add a table, what we need to do is add another one of this image shortcodes, which we're going to call it table shortcodes. And this is what the user of Urchin is going to be doing, by the way, not us. And we have the arguments there, so we need to have exactly 2 arguments, right? So if number of arguments is not 2, then we kind of want to return. What is this? Ah, Lua should use this. Interesting. I love how Lua differs from everything else that I know. Yeah, we return empty here, which is going to cause an error, by the way, later on. Now, let's look at how we generate a table, because we're basically going to add a table generator. You know, can I be bothered writing it all now on the stream? Like, you guys get the idea, right? I mean, this is kind of what we need. We need something like this, but let's just generate that. Yeah, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Like, you know, I just want to point that we do have, you know, we can add plugins to it. How do we do multi-line things on Lua? Okay, where's ChatGPT? How to write multi-line strings on Lua. Okay, so this kind of works, right? Now, is this also gonna kind of EOF expected after return? With that, okay. Thank you, the redemption. Now my only worry is that it's also going to include these characters here, but I guess we're going to figure it out, right? Hopefully it trims it, but I don't think it will do it. I think we'll return it like this. But you get the gist, right? So this is what I want to do. So we have a table shortcode. So all we need to do now, without having to recompile the program, is just to rerun the program with a new configuration. So if I look at my Urchin config, I just copy this, add a new one here called table, and then we have right here we can have table shortcode, right? And Lua. And we can run that now, and it should return, it should work fine, right? Let's see. And if we do the same request as we had before, which is up here. This one here? This one, yeah. If we send that request, oh, why can we not send it? Oh, I couldn't not open table shortcode.lua. Oh, okay, because the shortcodes. That is my bad. There you go. Let's try again. See, that's good because we got a mistake on the config file and it fails straight away, which is definitely a good thing. Now we're running, which means we can send that thing. And let's see if it handles the shortcode now without having to change any of the Go file. So the first shortcode that we get is the image one. And the second one is table, right? Table? Yeah, table. We do find a handler for it. And we have two values. There you go. We have two values. And we pass both values to the string. And we do the string, no errors, right? No errors. And we return the result. There you go. Result is that. That's what I mean. It does keep the the multi-line still keeps the characters, the empty spaces at the start. But I don't really care for now. Great. That's great. And it succeeds, right? So it must have done something. Now I'm going to stop this and actually look into my CMS app making sure that it actually added things fine. Wait, what's F4 doing? Anyway, let's look at the actual application, right? So localhost 8080, you can see that quite a few of them were added. So the first one here, this was the addition without the table, I believe. Yeah, you see, it didn't add the table here. It's just empty string, which is what we expect. But the second one, I do expect this one to have the table. There you go. So tables are cool, blah, blah, blah. Problem is, yeah, they are not quite well formatted, to be honest. So we kind of want to do it all here, really, in one line for now. I think that's the best way we can do. Can we do it like this as well? string concatenation seems to work, right? So just like in C. At least that's something Lua does like to do in the same way as the others, right? Or does it? EOF expected after return. What do you mean? What do you mean EOF is expected after return? It is. Does that work? Oh no. It's okay. Only one big string. Which is fine, but we also need to add one at the very start because we don't want to have to inline everything, right? So the table should be kind of added like in a new line in Markdown, otherwise it doesn't work. So if we do a CMS app, oh no, we don't want that one. We want the admin app now. Loading the shortcodes, plugins, so we now go to add post, and we have the table here. Note how it's after the support and before and, just to make sure it's all working fine. We're going to change this to 2 here, just so we can differ. And we're going to send it. I'm just going to like rerun it. I'm just going to let it run. I'll let it run. And now we can start the CMS application as well. We can stop this one. They're on the same port, so I have to stop one actually. Okay, so now if we go to the page, we have page 2 here, and it still doesn't show up. It still doesn't show up correctly. So the Markdown is not being like, why is it adding it to my list here? Like, what? Is it because it's in an LI? Yeah, it's after the LI. I didn't realize that. Let's see if we add it outside the bullet point list, if it's gonna work. Sorry about that, guys. It will work eventually. Oh, in fact, we don't even need to restart the thing. All we have to change is the actual postman stuff here, right? So let's copy that out. What is not an LI? Do we have an example? Where is that? No, everything's gone. So kind of want to maybe add it after. We got the footnotes here, images. Maybe we just add it after the first title, right? I guess. Advertisement, Babblefish. So H5 heading right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, let's do it right here. There you go. So if we do this one, send as the third post. That's straight after a title, which, oh, could not send. Why not? Okay, yeah, it was just hitting a breakpoint as usual. We send the post, and now what happens if we run the actual application and check it out? Again, the same breakpoint. It's kind of annoying now. Okay, so tables are working. It's just that I didn't add it in the right place. It was being added to an LI thing here, so it wouldn't work. But you can see, you know, how cool this becomes, right? Because essentially what we've done in this stream is just to allow users to set up these sort of shortcodes as they wish. And all they have to do is just to write a very simple Lua plugin that will handle that and like return the correct markdown for the post, right? That's all it is. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this, and thank you all for watching. Now, since we're done, we can look at the queue formatter, right? So queue formatter. Now, in the meantime, let me actually do a go fmt, make sure everything's working fine. And we've changed quite a lot of things here, so I'll tell you. How would you load the plugins? So Day of Redemption, this is, you probably missed out the start of the stream. So what we do is we use Lua. There is a Lua library here that will let us have an interpreter for Lua inside Golang, right? So this is the library I'm using, by the way. You can take a look at it. I'm going to send it here on stream. And with Lua, it means that the users can just provide whatever plugins they want at runtime. And it's at the current state, it's loaded at the start of the program, right? So they don't have to recompile the program or anything like that, and it makes things a little bit easier to include as well. But yeah, Lua is the answer. Lua is how we do it. So all these scripts are kind of handling the shortcodes. By the way, I'm going to push this code in a bit to GitHub. So if you've not yet done, please go to Urchin. First thing you do, by the way, is like the video. Don't forget to like it. And also star the project here. So click on star. That basically means that whenever I do a feature change, you'll be able to see on the PRs here, on the pull requests and stuff. It should give you some sort of notification for it. But yeah, you'll be able to see this in a second. I'll post it on the PR here. There's currently a PR for it. I'm not going to merge it in yet because it's not well tested, but we'll do some more tests for it. So Q formatter, Golang. That's what Carlos recommended. So let's see if it's actually useful. Is it open for contributions? Of course it is, man. Of course it is. So if you have any ideas, if you have any improvements, feel free to go in there, or if you just want to have some experience with Golang projects, you want to add some tests for me, go for it as well, dude. I'm always reviewing code in there. We had our first contribution, I think 2 weeks ago, from some random guy, and I'm happy to have you guys contribute as well. I'm looking forward to your PRs. So when printing as a string in Golang, you can use the verb q in the format parameters. Okay. Ah, I see exactly what you mean, Carlos. Yeah, this could have probably helped us, to be honest. To safely escape a string and quotes to it. Yeah, thank you, Carlos. I'm going to add that to the code right now because this is actually a good suggestion. So we have... which bit of code was it again? I penned this one here, right? So what we wanted was Q on there. So that should still work, right? Let's see. So we got the admin app. Yeah, so we've got it running. Let's see if we can still push a number 4 post. I'm gonna send it and things went okay. Nothing failed, which is good. That means it worked fine. And if we just look over the CMS admin page. By the way, I got a buddy of mine to, well, I asked a buddy of mine to actually redo the layout because we're using a stock CSS file, which is not ideal, if we're honest. So hopefully we're gonna get some like proper looking CMS template here for us. I don't know how long that will be, but for now you're gonna have to just keep looking at this ugly ass interface here. Yeah, it still works fine. Thank you, Carlos. It did really help. I didn't know about that. So Q is the one if you want to like escape the strings, right? Yeah, so let's push all of this. Let's push all of this. So what do we have here? So git log name. I want to see what I pushed yesterday. Add support for shortcode-like features. Yeah, we did. So git add -i. We want to add post.go, add post.go. Basically, we just want to add everything, right? Yeah, even the config file. Oh yeah. Now there are a few files we didn't quite add just yet, which are the plugins directory. And also, I guess the migrations, right? Because we have cards. Oh no, this is not the card one. Is there anything else we missed? I don't think so, right? I think that's everything. Yeah, we need to ignore the media. Hi from Jess, Jordan, and Kieran from college. Shit. I think I do remember Kieran. He's a tall guy, right? Hello, Tom. So yeah, dudes, we got something working now, and it's fairly complex, but it ended up working fine. So we can have shortcodes which are handled by user plugins written in Lua in the app. And if you guys are interested, it's all kind of in this pull request here. So support for shortcode-like features, this is the one. The CI is going to fail because I'm pretty sure something failed last time. I don't actually know exactly what failed last time, we can check. Probably like an unhandled error or something, there you go. My lint has failed, and what is... So file does not go formatted. Okay, so it should pass that one at least now, right? But you can see how this is implemented if you're actually quite interested in looking at what we did by just looking at this PR here. And I'll send you guys the code, the link to it. It's right there. Tom, tell everyone that's watching this to come in here and not fork the project, man, but literally start it. Start it on GitHub so I get more stars here. I would be very impressed if we can get like 50 stars or something on this project. And also, like the video on every single account. And that's Jess, Jordan, and Kieran from college. So please like this video. Yeah, for those wondering, those are the guys I went to school with. They're really cool, especially Tom. Tom is the AWS guy I always ask questions to when I don't know something about AWS, basically. Now, should we YOLO it and merge it? I think we should, right? If it passes all the tests and stuff, I'm fine with that. Now, the thing is, it will pass the test because I haven't written any tests for it. And the coverage is not yet enforced. So, like, I've only got something like 10% coverage in the whole project. But I'm gonna YOLO it anyway, you know, see if it can be... I'm pretty confident that this kind of works, and we can catch the errors later on. And the reason why I'm doing this is so my contribution chart goes up. I just want... Yeah, it didn't pass the tests, never mind, we can't merge it. What actually failed? What the hell? Okay, yeah, we gotta fix the previous tests, that's fine. So go test. Which test is it? So we failed these tests at settings.go. Yeah, we can do that right now. So which one is it that failed? Test correct somewhere. Yeah, every time I make a config change, we're gonna have to change this thing as well, I guess, right? So we have, what else? Wait, how is my current main passing the tests? Because I don't have tests with the image paths either. But somehow this passed. Huh, that is interesting. Anyway, let's do that. So what is the failure here? First failure we see is on line 47, which was this one here, read config. Right, read config. Ah, yeah, so this is the expected. That's fine. So image. No, what was it again? Shortcodes. There you go. That's what it should be. Or even better, I think this also works. Yeah, we just have to put that in there every time we see something, by the way. Oh, no. What's the issue here? What is the issue? Database port. So this should be okay. Okay. Pretty sure that some of these will still fail, but we can check. Go test. What's the actual command to history to call all the go tests everywhere? There you go. Wrong one. Question mark. Question mark, alright. I'm pretty sure this is still not going to pass completely. There are no tests in that one, there are tests in here. All my app tests have worked from the looks of it, so I'm happy with that. Is it just literally one test that's failing? Yeah, it was literally just one. Pass, yeah. But anyway, we fixed it, so we should run go fmt now. Get status, and then get add -i. Oh shit. Right, so now this should pass, and I think we should YOLO it. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm definitely going to call up the stream now. It's nearly 11, and unfortunately I have a dog that wakes up at like 6 AM, so I need to get some sleep. Antonio Augusto, hello. Tudo bem? That's my other Brazilian friend. Dude, how many... Do you just have random accounts, Antonio? Because, like, you were on before, right? I swear you had, like... I got here too late. What the hell? I'm so confused. Antonio, I thought I was talking to you earlier, but that was a different Antonio. Oh my god. How many Antonios do I have? I literally have, like, 3 Antonios watching me. But, yeah. Thank you to all the Antonios. But anyway, Antonio, I mean, check out the PR, dude. So we did something very cool. We made it so you can have shortcodes in posts, something like this. And the user provides the plugins to handle the shortcodes, right? So it turns this thing here into a table of 5 columns and 8 rows or something like that. And it turns this thing here into a Markdown image. And it's all done with Lua. So Lua is what we use here. And all they have to provide is like a Lua plugin somewhere that has a predefined function name. And yeah, that's it. And it handles the the inputs. So you don't have to recompile it. But, you know, I recommend watching this. I recommend checking out this particular PR here, because it's actually probably quite difficult for me to explain it all again. But, you know, if you're interested, it's all here, man. And it's really cool. I'm actually proud of this feature, even though it's like a massive security risk. Very cool, Brazil, indeed. Even though like having Lua code, Lua interpreter in your web server is probably a massive security risk. But you know, it is what it is, right? But anyway, thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, and I'll see you guys in the future. See you guys in a few days, and have a good evening. Bye bye. Obrigado.